Hey everyone, how's it going? It's been a couple of weeks since I have made any kind of YouTube video. Predominantly it's been because number one, I went on a camping trip, and number two, I caught COVID along with the rest of my family in my house, so haven't been feeling the best. So yeah, unfortunately content has not been the priority, but I'm getting there. I'm almost recovered. I've got a little bit of a snuffly nose and stuff, but yeah, it's all good so far. But I just wanted to give you guys some sort of content. So today I wanted to show you my really awesome saltwater blackwater aquarium. So let's go check it out. Alright guys, so here it is. So we got a few different tanks on this rack here. So these are all freshwater tanks. So these are two shrimp tanks, cherry shrimp and red really and orange secura. That's a blackwater setup, but this is my saltwater tank. And as you can see, the water first of all is like blackwater, and predominantly what that is just the pieces of driftwood in the aquarium have just always made the water ridiculously dark on this. You can see them right there, but I think it makes for a really cool and diverse, different type of saltwater tank that you see normally. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. The aquarium itself houses 5 hermit crabs, I believe there is, and a river shrimp wherever you can see him. Sometimes he's hiding at the back or the top looking for food. So there's no like fish in here or anything like that. It's just predominantly crabs and a shrimp. The idea was to go for a rock pool kind of feel of an aquarium, but it's kind of evolved. I've let it kind of grow algae on the sides and stuff. Just think it gives it a really cool sort of different natural kind of look. And as you can see, the river stones at the back there have all gained sort of algae and detritus over time as well. As you can see also, I thought about trying something different, and that is a mangrove leaf. Normally you find them in sort of brackish environments and stuff, but I thought I'd give it a go in my saltwater tank. And it turns out the reason why it's all broken up is not down to just sort of breakdown of organic matter, as it will. It's the hermit crabs. They seem to be eating it, and I found that the most strangest thing, because normally you get them quite hungry for macroalgae like this green bush macroalgae here, or some Cheeto algae which is at the top, but yeah, they seem to have a bit of a taste for mangrove leaves. And as you can see in the corner there's a little bit moving from that hermit crab right there. So I never knew that they liked leaves, but yeah, it turns out that they are marginally interested in it. In terms of heat, filtration, etc, I've got one heater at the back there that is set to about 23-24 degrees, just of your average room temperature. And then it's just running a sponge filter there. As you can see in the background, they're just sort of, well, to be fair, I haven't really cleaned the sponge filter in God knows how long, so it's just kind of there as sort of a bit of surface movement, etc. And yeah, it just sort of does its job. But there's no refugium, no sump, no hardcore filtration in here. It's just kind of let nature do its thing. Kind of my ethos on most of my other aquariums. All of these that you see here, none of them I use any kind of hardcore filtration systems. In terms of water changes, I only do a top up on this one whenever evaporation happens, which at the moment in the summer is ridiculous, so I do have to keep topping this up every so often. But yeah, apart from that, that's all I need to do. Lighting wise, there's nothing special. It's just this Nicrew RGB light here I've got, but it doesn't have to be anything great for the type of aquarium I've got, because there is no corals in this tank. And the tank's come on really well since I first built it. It was always intended to be a rock pool kind of look, but it's kind of cool that it's evolved into sort of a blackwater type aquarium. It's got the driftwood, which I've always wanted to try, sort of driftwood in a saltwater setup, because I think it looks really cool. You obviously get driftwood in oceans sometimes that appears, so it's cool to try and replicate those little natural environments. Also, yeah, it's kind of like a rock pool, I guess. If you stick your head under the water, you might see something similar to this. In terms of feeding, I feed a variety of different foods, from live, frozen, flakes, pellets, you name it, algae wafers, I've tried it. Crabs seem to absolutely flourish in here, and yeah, I think they're really happy. I've got quite a few shells in there as well, just so they've got something to grow out into, so there's no sort of fighting or killing each other due to the shells. So I've got a stack of other shells that I can add to it just in case. But yeah, all good. Ideally, I'd like to add some more macroalgae, but hermit crabs can be a bit funny with macroalgae. Sometimes they don't touch it, other times they will just eat everything. And I've had a few different macroalgae in here, like Caulerpa prolifera, and it seems to have all disappeared. There was tons in the back there, and yeah, the crabs went crazy for it. But they were touching this at one point, but they seem to have stopped now, so I'm hoping that they ain't gonna go for it anymore, because I'd love to get some macroalgae grown in here, just because I think it would add a little bit of color contrast to the setup. It'd be interesting also going forward to see if this worked as a breeder for fish at some point, just as a trial, but I haven't got anything that I am looking to breed right now. But I suppose if I did have some fry or something, it would be cool to throw them in here and see how they get on. But yeah, apart from that, I'm really happy with how this tank has turned out, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes in the next year or two. I hope you all liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, I'd love to hear suggestions on what you think I should do with the tank going forward. It'd be great to hear some feedback, so definitely let me know. If you want to see the original build of that video as well, hit this link right here and that will take you to it. And until next time, you stay safe.